All right, what's up, guys? I'm just making a quick video. Not quick, but listen, we got the global Dokkan celebration coming in, and we have a lot of mixed thoughts and opinions and stuff. I've been on Twitter and saying my own stuff. I'll just be honest. Like, I'm I honestly I really feel really indifferent to the celebration because it's just kind of like mediocre. Um, I gave the hype like a 5 out of 10. You like my excitement? Like, I'm just not very excited, even though it's literally Rose Zamasu and then Super Saiyan Blues, and that's mainly because they don't fuse. We've been having a lot of arguing and conversation about, oh, it's different, or they're just like the tech gods and blah 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 blah, right? My opinion on it is it is slightly different. But like, if this unit, the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, maybe if like the tag switching wasn't their only, maybe like, I understand they each have an active skill, but we were going into this and we knew that one of them would have the fusion as their active skill, and that's likely the one that's going to just be better, period, to use. I saw their kits and stuff. I really can't have a say in any of that because I haven't tried out the units at all, and I haven't watched any videos on them yet. But like, I'm pretty sure we'll probably be using the one where they fuse more than the other one, and that's just a given as to how they design these units, usually giving the fusion side or the fusion or whatever more power and utility. So I think it is slightly different because the tech gods, they didn't have Gogeta anywhere in their art. They transformed and they had an active skill, which I get that these guys have 2 active skills and they tag switch. But it just doesn't feel right when you literally have Vegito Blue in the background of one of the arts, and he's just there for an active skill. Same with Trunks, by the way. Like, I don't know why they put him in the art, and they just do the father's son Gallic Gun again. Like it's a reused animation, which it doesn't really bother me, honestly. It's just like it's funny and kind of disappointing that they just keep going back to the same thing, like, and they don't even have a KO screen. It just ends on the explosion. Let me see if I can find it. Like, it just, yeah. Like, I mean, it looks pretty good, but it is what it is. My main thing, though, with the Super Saiyan Blues is that they easily could have just made them fusing. LR free talk right there. They easily could have just made them fusing, dude. Like, it's not that difficult. First of all, I understand that you wouldn't want to drop fusing Vegeta Blue this early, like 6 months after you just introduced the tag switch mechanic. But it's their fault that they're even doing this. Like, they didn't have to do future here. Future, dude, if we would have waited till like 2026 global Dokkan campaign and we drop future, boom, Super Saiyan Blues, actual fusing Vegito Blue, boom, Rose Zamasu actually fusing into Zamasu, boom, we have 2024 or 20, I forget, 2023, 2023 EZAs for Super Saiyan Blue fusing Vegeta Blue and Tech Zamasu. Dude, they are cooking, right? Like, let me make sure. Hold on, I'm really bad with like time and let's see. Super Saiyan. I'll just put in Goku. Oh wait, no, they're right here. What am I doing? August 2023. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, dude, these two did him and then Rose, bro, that would have been perfect. Literally perfect. That's like the most ideal situation ever. I don't know how they don't have the hindsight to see this. I'm making this late, so apparently Omega is part 2, which probably means Super Saiyan 4s, and then active skill Gogeta. Hold on, let me just like it's it just doesn't feel right, you know? Like at the end of the day, you know, it's a mobile game and it's Dragon Ball, and it's not that large of a deal, but it just doesn't make sense, right? If they want to capitalize the most off of each moment and make a ton of money, just drop Super Saiyan 4 Daima right here, or transforming, and then you have the Super Saiyan 4 duo in Omega, and then next year, guess what? You have fusing Vegito Blue, add in like a part 2. I don't even know, like a part 2 freaking I don't want to say Gogeta Blue because you don't want to not waste, but using both of them at the same time is kind of crazy. You could do the TOP duo. You could do, especially since it's super, you could do like Beast Gohan, Tag Piccolo, Orange Piccolo, you know, something with these two. But they should not be here right now, especially if we're getting GT right now. My biggest thing is, let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so everyone was saying like Beast Gohan 2.0. It's not that bad, right? Like, they're right, you know, it's not that bad. It's still bad, but like this was terrible because they were literally like showing Beast Gohan in the background of the art and everything. Shout out to Truth, by the way. Goat. But listen, okay, look at this. Like, he does, you know, the eye thing. He does the yell. It looks amazing. Look at that, dude. Look at that. 2023? 2022, bro. December. Holy crap. Right? You see this? Like, that's sick. And then there's just this, it's this weird cut. We don't see him start to move or like, all Dokkan had to do is boom, right here, stop, boom, transformations. That's his transformation. And then like they could have made this his like 18 key or something like that, you know, to pop in the freaking card art and then give him a 12 key. Boom, that's your Transformer Beast going right there, right? Obviously there's some nuances, but that's the general idea. And it's the same thing that's happening with this Vegito Blue, bro. Look at this. Alright. Okay. Okay, it looks amazing, by the way. Like, I don't even care they reused that because it looks amazing already. This looks awesome. This looks good. Like, bro, look at that. That is so good. I'm sorry, yeah. But it's even more upset. Like, look at that frame, dude. It's just even more upsetting because, like, dude, could you imagine, dude? All they had to do, so. Let's see. Boom. Dude, like, you can see the pause. Like, I'm not crazy, dude. Like, I feel like the teacher from Incredibles right now. Like, I'm trying to point out and be like, don't you see it? I see it. You know, like, you can literally see a pause, right? He talks, he pauses. Boom, just end it. Look, pause. Right? Just cut it off there and then make this his 18 key. Bro, make this his, like, oh my, dude. Could you imagine seeing this like 5 times in a row? Oh my gosh, dude. Right? Boom, 18 key KO screen, right? And then obviously they probably want to give him another active, but they don't have to do that. They could just give him like a domain maybe, or some new type of ability. I forgot what I said. I think I said like, maybe after you transform, he gets the enemy to target him for that, turn, the same turn he transforms. Or maybe when he enters, he buffs all allies for the turn, or buffs all future allies for whichever rotations he in. Something like that, where it's not an active skill, but you're still feeling that as Vegeta Blue, and you're able to actually play as him, but you don't have an active skill necessarily. Because I do understand that, these units take time, and they take effort and production and all that. But it just doesn't make sense when there's clearly the capacity to make the fusing character. Like, they did the hard part of making animations of them fusing, and their animations, like the base SSJ Blues, they're pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Vegeta's are really good, actually. Goku's are pretty mid. It's just, basic meteor combo and Kamehameha, right? Like, but it's way better than the old Blues. Like, way better. Okay, that's my point with that. And I pretty much had the same thing with Rose Zamasu. Like, they did the hard part of making them fusing and everything. So, like, they could have cut it off like right here. Like, literally just have him do the talk, do the face, and then cut it off. And then this would be his 18 key right here. By the way, I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much, perhaps, but like, I expected way more. Like, this is so like, this does not have the same oomph Vegeta Blues active skill does, in my opinion. He just kind of we just like replay 2020 whenever the end Zamasu, replay that animation, and then freaking, yeah, that's it. I don't know. So overall, it is what it is. Me saying or anything, it's not gonna change anything. But that just doesn't make sense. Now, the other thing that I feel like's an issue here is that these guys, or these units, the new Super Saiyan Blues, and then the new Roseanne Zamasu, it just feels bad because the playable Vegeta Blue we do have just is so inaccessible, right? You have to, what was it? HP 70% less from the 5th turn they enter. So it could be like the 8th turn. It's either the 8th turn or the 6th turn. Or no, 5th turn, yeah. Or future category ally enemy from the 7th turn, bro. They don't even stack, right? Or do they stack? Hold on, I forget. Oh, they do. Well, they mainly raise or attack because, yeah. But, not to mention, they only have their entrance animation for 4 turns, not even 5 or 7. Their animations are pretty, they're pretty, but Tech Zamasu is still pretty solid, with all the damage reduction. He has 80% damage reduction first turn. He gets more defense. He gets an additional attack, high chance to become a super sec. He's not terrible, but plus he has his domain. Now, here's the thing. They release the new Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and then the Rose Zamasu. Everybody's talking about oh, it's supposed to be situational, both their actives are supposed to play different roles, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, plain and simple, you're likely going to use the active skill that has the fusion, right? That's what people like. That's what we want, is the Vegito Blues. We want the fusions and Masus. So that's the problem. So what's the solution to it? Okay, well, we can't change the character, or they don't want to use the character, I guess, for some reason, right? And we know that the other active is going to be something like support, probably, since the fusion's probably going to do damage, but we don't really care about the support. I mean, in very certain situations, we're going to be using the support to help the whole team in rotation, but it's situational, which I would say is the whole point. Here's my proposal, okay? You can keep the fusion active skill nonsense. That's totally fine. There's two options here. Either you make it so that you can use both the active skills, maybe not back to back, but you can use both the active skills from the tag switch character. From my understanding and knowledge, you can only use one active skill and then that's it, which makes no sense. Not no sense, but it just feels weird because you have two active skill animations, you use one, and then the other just becomes unavailable. If you could use both their active skills, not in the same turn maybe, but you had the option to, it would add way more value to this whole tag switch. Let me just go through their cards. It would add way more value to this whole tag switch mechanic, because then you actually have a good reason to go into the other unit to use their active skill and whatever. So that's my first proposal. Make it so you can use both the active skills, after maybe like the next turn or whatever, and they might be busted, but like it's good that this is supposed to be an anniversary level celebration. They're supposed to be busted. Maybe not supposed to, but like we want them to be busted. We want them to step in and be like, Vegito, Super Vegito who? AGO Gogeta who? Like, I feel like that's the point. My second proposal is that the first active skill, this is really good, right? Like, you're probably never using this father-son Gallic gun nonsense. What does it do? Guard. Yeah, support, whatever. Now, stay with me here. Imagine if Vegeta, he does the massive attack, maybe get rid of either the support or the guard. I don't know. But instead of that, they introduce a new mechanic to active skills where it's a line of text and it says something along the lines of temporarily ignores rotations conditions for transformation, which just means, hey, we pop this active and now we don't have to wait till turn 7 for Vegito or turn 5 or turn 8 if they're on the 7th slot. And remember, we get access to Vegito on the 4th turn, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah, 4th turn from the start of the battle. So it wouldn't exactly line up because they're supposed to come out at the 5th turn. But if you do this, I promise you, you make it so that when you pop Vegeta's active skill and then transformation conditions become nullified for the given time, meaning that this nonsense is just like non-existent. Now we can just fuse into Vegeta Blue and we get Big Daddy. Now we have our Vegeta Blue, we have our tag switch duo, which now you have a really good reason to go into Vegeta because guess what? Oh, he lets you use this guy. We get our Vegeta Blue sprite, and then same for Rose Zamasu. Rose has all the aura. Zamasu has no aura, bro. He's a green booger with a mohawk, okay? But I promise you, you make it so Zamasu can bring out this guy's domain turn 4, people are going to start using Zamasu in his active skill. People are going to start... I don't know who else, but yeah. This might sound like a really stupid idea. I think it sounds amazing. Not amazing, but it sounds applicable and feasible enough where like this would be like revolutionary. I don't know how it would look for other cards. Maybe like, cause doesn't Tech Vegito? I don't know. I don't have to put in. Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to put in. I can just go back a little bit. Right here. So, 5th turn of battle. Yeah. Yeah, it would start to get a little weird. Maybe a little too OP because you could have like Vegito 4th turn technically. Or just make this a 5th turn restricted, make it a 5th turn restricted active skill. Or make it after he does an attack or something like that, you know, so that's not too OP. But like, yeah. And most of the time, or specifically with this Vegito, it's not even the turn, right? Like the gods, we get them 4th turn. So I don't see why there'd be a big deal if we could get them or the Vegito on 4th turn. But if they are feeling weird about it, just make it so that you just either nullify everything or just nullify the stupid restrictions. 70% less, and I have to go outside and walk a mile to get over 15,000 steps, and then I have to have 2 Future Saga allies and a Future Saga enemy and a bond of, like, bro, just make this can be activated starting from the 5th turn, the Future Saga category ally or enemy. Boom. So simple, but no. So just make it so, hey, I nullify transformation conditions. Oh, what? Oh my gosh. Vegito Blue, I can actually use him and play him. And guess what? He comes out in another year with an easy A. So I won't have to even worry about the transformation more. And then this, like I said already, it gives the other side so much value. People are going to want to use Vegeta. They're going to want to use Zamasu because they give us the other characters. And they add way more value, bro. You look at units at like Broly. Where is he? When does he transform? I always forget. 5th turn. Now it's 4th turn. Right? Like, that crazy ability would add so much value to the characters. Make it. And then you just start seeing them on like every team, right? Because you get the transformation even quicker and you just get to ignore. It's pretty much just a skip button to not having to wait for certain conditions to get the transformation. Like I said, that might be a too OP, but it's just an idea because the only reason like a lot of us are annoyed or have a bad taste in our mouth or upset, it's because we can't use the big boys, the big showstoppers, right? It's because we can't use Zamasu and Vegito. So if you don't want to give us a new card of them, make it playable for the older versions of them. You know, like it's not that difficult of a concept to wrap your head around. Because these guys are going to use EA. So yeah, Dokkan had like so many chances to just not drop them here. And this duo, by the way, like they're really hype. This duo goes from like a 5 out of 10 out of hype to 10 out of 10. Like, you know, if they go from a 5 out of 10 to 10 out of 10, if you wait till next year where these guys easy A, boom. Now we're like, oh my God, wait. And then we get to use Vegito Blue? You know, it wouldn't be, wait, they don't go into Vegito Blue, we can't even play him. It go from, oh, man, that sucks. He's only an active skill. But wait, you know, double Vegito Blue rotation would have definitely been much more likable or enjoyable. But then we'll be like, oh shoot, they get an easy A, so that's our Vegito Blue right there. Same for the Rose Zamasu. That's option 1. Option 2, they introduce a new mechanic that might be too OP. I don't really care. Where the other side, Vegeta and Zamasu, because Zamasu isn't. Oh no, Zamasu is the. So Goku Black is. Goku Black, I guess, would have it, or they'd switch it, something like that. But the other side that doesn't use the fusion introduces a new mechanic where they can temporarily, for that turn, nullify transformation conditions. So now I get Vegito Blue 4th turn or 5th turn or whatever. I get Fusion Zamasu, his domain or whatever, 4th turn, 5th turn, without all these stupid restrictions. This would specifically really help out the super bosses category, because you'd instantly get Fusion Zamasu's domain, or you could get access to Super Broly in his domain immediately. I forget, there's other like super boss, like let's see, Rose, physical Rose, Jiren. Well, you can get his transformation pretty easily. Topo, maybe? I don't know. Kale and Khalifa. You know, there's a lot of transformation type characters on here. Super's fine, you know, but it would also help their whole category generally. That would go from a 5 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. They'd be like, hey, check this out. And we'd see these guys and then these guys and be like, oh, what are they about to do? And he'd be like, their transformation conditions are 5th turn with 77% less or 70% less HP in a future scholar category ally, future saga. He'd be like, but watch this. He'd play the active skill. And then we'd just see the active skill thing, maybe like an animation or something, and then pop up, and then boom, we can transform. And we'd be like, wait, what? And then boom, this like these units jump up to like 1 and 2 because of how good their utility is. Third thing, I think there's one more thing that they could have done / do to make up for the lack of Vegito and Zamasu. And this is just more general game issues. By the way, their categories, like, I don't know why it's just one category. This should have been like super bosses and new category. Big bag bosses, powerful opponent. Everyone's been saying it. You know, the truth. Toon. Goresh. I don't know if Goresh said it, but like everybody's like, this should have been 2 categories of a powerful opponent and big bad bosses. Anyways. domain clashing and same name non-linking. I know Dokkan isn't like doing their like updates or whatever, or like they don't have anything that they've announced planned. But if they come out here, drop this, and then at the end, they're like, oh, we have some update information as well. Now, same name units have 10 out of 10 links or can have the ability to link. And now domains won't stop each other. First of all, same name linking. This is stupid. Also, this guy, it should be corrupted Zamasu or corrupted Fusion Zamasu. Not that. It's still just so annoying. It's so annoying because when he gets an easy A, guess who you still can't run with him. That's right. This year's easy A Fusion Zamasu. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. They need to fix this. They really need to fix this because there's just like there's a natural, what's it called, like cap to how fun the game is. You're only gonna get so much fun out of the game. Make it so that I can use these two together, which his name should have been corrupted anyways. But make it so that like I could use two base Gokus together who are from completely different sagas. Or maybe they're from the same saga. I don't care. They should have like perfect links if they are the same Goku but not the same unit. Right? It will just be way more fun. Way more teams can be used and played. Blah, 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 blah. And then make it so that I could run units like Broly and Zamasu together without having to worry about stupid domain like clashing and preventing each other from getting the best part of their kits. I just think I don't know exactly how they'd pull it off, but I assume just make it so that like I'm trying to think. Because usually the transformation is tied to the domain. Like, okay. So for normal units like Broly and Zamasu, just make it so that when you pop it, you still have the option to pop the others in the rotation, and then they just lose that domain. So if I have Broly and Zamasu, let's say I pop Broly's and then I just pop Zamasu's. Broly loses his domain. I have the infinite Zamasu one, but I got my transformation I want from Broly. But this is the issue right here. Like, they want it active, right? So maybe at that point, just make it so that when you pop both domains, and then whichever one you just popped, that's the graphic that plays. But both are still active with their buffs and debuffs and, everything else like that. That's pretty good. But you do have weird instances like, oh yeah, no, his isn't weird actually. Yeah, just do that. Just make it so you can pop both of them. Whichever domain you just pop, that's the graphic that pops up on the screen. But you'll have maybe domain, and then it's just like ×2 or ×3, and like maybe they stack or something like that. And again, it's a thing of like, oh, that's too OP. But like, so like I'm sure they could figure out, I don't know what they do, but like that's like what we're trying to go for in a degree or in a certain way. Yeah. Back to this. We should just had Daima right now. It should have been Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3 Mini Goku. That goes into Super Saiyan 4 Goku with a transforming Goma Then we have tag switch Super Saiyan 4s with this Omega, or like I don't even know, maybe they introduce a new skill where it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then you pop his active, and now they're tag switch characters, or something like that. That could be interesting or cool. If they're doing GT here, they should have just had Daima here. That just makes way more sense. I don't know are they just gonna do a double Daima celebration? That'd be fine, but like replace these guys with, like I said, Super Saiyan 3 mini Goku, Super Saiyan 4 mini Goku, transforming Goma. We see this leak, boom, like hype. It's 10 out of 10. We're in it, bro. We're in for the long run. But when you drop Future, they don't fuse. And now we have Omega. And we're getting probably tag switch Super Saiyan 4s who won't fuse in the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now it's just a bad taste in our mouth. And there's just like, and the theme nonsense makes no sense. Breaking through? What are they talking about, bruh? You could have just said cooperation, or like, I don't know, but yeah, y'all get what I'm trying to say here, bro. That's my thoughts. So yeah, they either should have just saved these guys for next year so that we could get these guys as Easy A, no issue, doesn't matter, they don't fuse. Number one. Number two, there's clearly animation potential there for them to just completely make the fusions. It's not that difficult. The potential is definitely there, just like how it was there if Beast Go On. Literally just cut off Vegeto's right there where he looks at you. Like, it's literally a second. He just pauses. Cut it off there. Make this his 18 key. Give him something cool. Give him like instant support, turn support, a domain, something cool. Rose Zamasu, same thing. Just cut off the animation on his face, right there. Make this his 18 key. Give him like all target, self target, where like the enemy targets him for the turn, or the amount of turns he's in, just like automatically, or something like that. Boom, now Super Boss isn't getting clapped up because they don't have anybody to tank, or whatever. Yeah. Or option 3, add a new mechanic where these guys can nullify these stupid transformation conditions so that we get our Vegeta Blue. People can now stop using the argument that we don't have a playable Vegeta Blue. Well, not playable, but like runnable. Like, we can actually viably use the unit. Because right now, without the Tech VB that's going to get buffed, we don't have a Vegeta Blue who like we can realistically use and play with. Pause. So yeah, make it so we can nullify the stupid transformation condition. The units will probably still be a bit aged out or whatever, but we get to still interact and play with it, and now we can't say that we can't have a usable Vegeta Blue, because they're going to get it ECA next year. So these guys are just going to rise up in value and stocks for next year. Yeah, those are 3 options. Fourth option, get rid of same name, freaking non-linking, and domain clashing. It's more just of a general thing, but if they toss that in here, like at the very end, they're like, hey, we have a special update coming soon as well, we'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool, at least, so I can actually use Tech Zamasu and End Zamasu, because that issue's going to come back up eventually. Yeah, that's my 4 solutions. I don't know how Dokkan manages to mess up just like the absolute potential of making buttloads amount of money in bringing in buttloads amount of hype and players, but they somehow do. Yeah, thanks for hearing me rant. I'm watching the video, and I'll see y'all.